Time doesn't wait and doesn't spare anyone. Epochs follow each other. People die and are born. Technology fails. The world is changing dramatically. Noticeable changes began to especially occur at the end of the 20th century, and it impacted all spheres of life. Significant metamorphoses have been noted in cosmonautics. Missions have become bolder, and probes from the category of primitive became more advanced and smarter. But this doesn't save us from inevitable death. In this video, we'll talk about the Opportunity rover, which we'll simply call Opportunity. We'll remember what the device was famous for, what features it used, and what it saw on the red planet before it died.
Subscribe.
Let's start with some brief background. Opportunity was one of the twin spacecraft sent to Mars as part of the Mars Exploration Rover mission. In the beginning, it was called MERB, and its counterpart, who arrived at the opposite end of the planet, MERA. Later, the probes were renamed Opportunity and Spirit. Spirit was much less fortunate. It worked for about 5 years and died, stuck in the Martian soil with broken wheels. Its thickly dusted solar panels didn't allow it to survive the deadly Martian winter. In 2009, no one guessed that Opportunity would suffer a similar fate, but 9 years later. Whatever it was, MERB became the record holder for staying on Mars, knocking the previous AMC champion, Viking 1, off the podium. Want to learn about the amazing discoveries of NASA's most persistent probe? Then keep watching. After the death of the device in 2018, the agency released a map showing the 45-kilometer distance that Opportunity covered. It was originally planned that the device would stay on Mars for about 90 sols, 92 Earth days, but the mission dragged on for almost 5,500 days. The mission of the probe was to prove to the world that Mars was once full of rivers and seas. Opportunity managed to do this almost immediately. The first photo from the probe was a panorama of the Eagle crater, where it successfully landed. The 22-meter crater was given this name because, according to golfing slang, an eagle is an accurate hit in the hole. So where was the Opportunity? Further research showed that it landed right on the bottom of the ancient Martian Ocean. This is seen in the first photos. If you look closely, it shows layered deposits, presumably washed by water and created by weathering. Proof of the presence of water in the Martian past is also seen by the finding of jarosite, a mineral that the probe discovered by drilling through rock. This is also evident by the strange voids in the stones found by the device. But the most iconic in terms of finding evidence of the red planet's aquatic past is hematite, or blueberry, as scientists have called this mineral. In Earth's nature, round balls of up to 7 millimeters in diameter are formed in geysers, and the fact that Opportunity found them on Mars speaks volumes. Jarosite, hematite, and other finds clearly hint that on the site of the huge Meridian Plateau, which includes the Eagle crater, a reservoir of considerable size used to exist. Do you want to continue your Martian voyage? Let's keep going. When Opportunity reached the Endurance crater, a 130-meter impact crater, the decision was made to lower the probe to its bottom. Even the risk that the device won't get out didn't stop the mission developers. But their fears were in vain. Everything went perfectly. Opportunity first photographed the crater with a panorama camera, and then, over the course of 6 months, explored the crater, finding more and more evidence that Mars was much more welcoming long ago. The probe's journey continued with enviable regularity, but suddenly, while examining the heat shield that broke off during landing, Opportunity discovered something. In the vicinity of the screen was a real meteorite that had come from another planet. They called it Heat Shield Rock. After the landmark discovery, monotonous sols passed, filled with testing the Martian soil and sending the results to Earth. Opportunity even managed to get stuck in a 30-centimeter sand dune. It would have been easy to get it out of trouble at home, but not on Mars. The probe skidded unsuccessfully for as many as 38 sols, unable to move while its engineers controlled it from the ground. Do you think this was the end of the mission? Of course not. When Opportunity finally got out of the trap, it headed straight for the Erebus crater. This is how the probe saw it. In this crater, the device worked with such gusto that it began to have problems with the manipulator. In the end, it was decided to leave the hand open to avoid jamming. Here, the probe was caught in a 3-day dust storm, but gradually the wind blew the sand off the panels and the device was able to move on. What can you say about the Opportunity mission? Not only did the probe detect signs of traces of water on the planet, it also sent a huge number of photos of the surface of Mars. Now we know much more about the appearance of our dusty neighbor. Here, for example, is the Victoria crater that Opportunity visited after Erebus. The image clearly shows the dune located on its bottom. Here, the probe recorded clouds passing over Mars. After that, the planet was plunged into darkness for a whole month, and the dense curtain of sand that rose from the surface barely allowed the rover to maintain its necessary functions. Once again, the mission was in jeopardy. But this was only training, and the worst was yet to come. And finally, before the cameras of the long-suffering Opportunity loomed the crater Endeavour, a huge crater 22 kilometers in diameter. The work continued. The probe studied the winds of Mars as if they were deliberately raging in earnest. It drilled through and moved stones, and it managed to find a gypsum vein. Through Opportunity's eyes, the people of Earth saw Greeley Haven, the passage of Phobos against the background of the solar disk, and the hill Mativici, first discovered by the Mars rover. In the summer of 2013, Opportunity drove up to Solandar Mountain, where it was going to spend its 6th winter on Mars. After waking up, the device partially studied the Marathon Valley and the Valley of Perseivers of unknown origin. And that's all the probe managed to do, because in 2018, Mars was covered by a storm of a disastrous scale. A storm the size of North America wrapped the planet in a plume of sand for many months, blocking 99% of the sun's rays. This storm was the beginning of the end for the legendary rover. But what was the last thing the probe saw? NASA released a farewell photo of the rover. This is the western end of the crater Endeavour, which Opportunity circled for several years in a row, while simultaneously studying the nearby locations. Attempts to resuscitate the rover didn't lead to anything. The rover went silent forever. After 7 months, NASA specialists unsuccessfully gave the probe its last command and announced the official closure of the program. Opportunity has been on Mars for 15 years and has brought invaluable benefits to science. Let's look at the probe permanently settled on the planet that destroyed it. Over the years that the mission spanned, many people perceived the rover as something extraordinary. So after the death of Opportunity, not only were scientists upset, but also the people who followed the movement of the device on this distant celestial body. But preparations for a mission to Mars continue. And perhaps soon people will walk on the surface of the red planet. Let us know in the comments what you think about a manned expedition to Mars, given the conditions endured by Opportunity. Don't miss our updates and share our video with your friends. New exciting releases are waiting for you soon. But this isn't the end. The next missions are coming, and our channel will continue to cover all significant events on a planetary scale as much as possible. So let's get 5,000 big E likes for this video, and a new very exciting video will be posted on the channel right away. See you soon!